Saving up. No, that's exactly what I'm doing. Saving. I've got a bunch saved up here. I haven't even gone back in into my cards, like my physical digital copies, and started sharding all the ones I actually have physical copies of. So I have a bunch of shards still being just saved for when I'm on a rainy day and just go through it all. I figured I'd actually wait. Play my Asivak. My Asivak, actually this one I almost carbon copied from Dr. Atylis. I've never actually played this one. I built it so that I would have it. I've never actually played it, so we can give it a shot. We can give it a shot. Do I want to play against Blammo? Sure. Sure, I'll play against your Blammo. Let me get my... Any and everyone that wants to go ahead and add me as a friend, go for it. It'll be easier for when my... Okay, let me... this will be fun. I will test a deck that I have only seen someone play once, that I've never actually piloted, against a viewer of the stream and his Blammo deck. This will be a fun match to watch. Now, if you stream snipe, that's completely okay. That's the whole point of being a streamer, is getting stream sniped. So you're more than welcome to. I don't care. But let's try this out. Let's see if I can play you. So Belphagoras. There's my player tag. If you want to add me, challenge me. I will try and pilot Dr. Atylis' Asivak deck and figure out what his whole thought process was in building it. And then maybe after I play a game, I'll understand how many things I did wrong. I'm saying that right now. I'm probably going to do a lot of wrong things. Alright, you got it? Belphagoras. What do you mean, pre or post rotation? Oh, I think his deck he built was pre-rotation. So there's probably some cards in there that... I mean, he built this thing pretty soon after Kindred came out. So there's probably even some cards in there that are, like, changed in card text. But I didn't change the deck because I haven't looked at it since he made it. It was going to be one of those, like, hey, I'll try and highlight this deck. And then I really haven't seen him stream in a long time, and I'm kind of sad. Let's see here. Oh, Filthy Phil. Okay. So here's one thing I'm gonna do. Because I'm a streamer and have people who watch me. If you want to add me, that's fine. But otherwise, my friends list, I'm probably just gonna save for people that I actually know in person. I hope it's okay. I don't want to be anything mean. You guys can still challenge me. That's perfectly fine. But just so my friends list doesn't have like a max capped out, and I have to start deleting people and they wonder why I deleted them. That's the only reason. If you guys want to share, it's perfectly fine. But I'm gonna save my friends list for people that I physically know. But if you guys want to add me and then challenge me, you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to. I hope it's okay. I hope it's not like a... Don't take it as like a shun of like, oh, I don't want to really add you to my friends list. That's just, that's how I'm going to see it. Is otherwise my friends list would be too full, and then I'll meet people, and then I'll be like, hey, who do I have to delete to add you onto my friends list? Because I don't know if there's an actual cap number on this, so I don't want to just start adding every single person that gives me their name. That's the only reason. So, I hope that's okay. Don't take any offense to that. But yeah, if you want to challenge me, Belphagoras will do Blammo versus Asivak, and we will see how this thing goes. What do you say? Perfect. Perfect. Go ahead and challenge me, and we'll get this thing going. Belphagoras composite. Like, what are you composited of? Is there, like, multiple Belphagoras? Are you a Belphagori who's composited into just a giant Belphagoras? Like, is like a Belphagoras like a piece of Voltron, and you composite yourself into just a giant or robot? I think that'd be pretty sweet. You're actually made up of 5 metallic lions, named the Belphagori, and you have become the Belphagoras composite. That'd be pretty sweet. Defender of the universe. Alright, so whenever you're ready, Go ahead and send the challenge my way. And we will end this stream with a beautiful streamer showdown. Really? Okay. Let me quick add you, see if I can do that, and then I'll just. So what do we have here? BFXLRZGB. I add you. The Idea Man. How many ideas do you have? Are there a lot? It's a play on Belphegorus Prime. Interesting. Interesting. I'm playing the Asivak deck. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Dude, I'm very intrigued on what your Blammo deck does. I really want to know if you went full gimmick with the whole get bunch of water buffs out, or if you just like built a solid deck. Don't tell me. I want to be surprised. All right, so we're just gonna start off. Okay. That's fair. So it's at the end of your turn. Okay. I've actually never played Blammo. I want to so bad. But I want to build like a Blammo deck on stream, so I haven't even started concepting what I would want to do with him. So take 1 damage at the end of your turn. If you have water buffs in play, your explosive cards deal 2 more damage. Okay. Okay. Now I get what's going on. Interesting. Perfectly fine. Barkeep is a solid card. In my opinion, I love Barkeep more than Umbran Informant. Just the way I play. Still taking some pain. Now, I just gotta look what this ability does. Store an action card from your discard pile under your hero. If nothing is there, swap a card under your hero stored. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it does take a little bit of back and forthsies with this. Which I think is fine. I think it's perfectly fine. Time Flicker. Can't wait till that one gets rotated out. I don't know a single tech deck that doesn't run Time Flicker, in my opinion. Ooh. I'm wondering, then, with that going back in the deck, if that means you either A, have a second one in your hand, if you're running Warp Toads, if you have a Crazy Bomber in your hand. Very intriguing. Very intriguing indeed. Okay. Yep, out. Okay, he did have another one. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I was like, why would he get rid of that if he doesn't have another one in hand, right? You're upset that it's getting rotated? Dude, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's a really good buff. The only reason I'm not upset about it is because, like I said, I don't know a single tech deck that card is not in. And when there is one card that is literally in every single deck, I'm okay with it getting rotated out. I'm a man who loves change. I love when the meta gets completely flipped, turned upside down. Oh. Okay. Do you just not run any water buffs in your deck? Is that what this is? That is interesting as all get out. If you just do not run any water buffs. Yeah, actually I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Where you just like you just accept the pain and you run all the good heals to mitigate it. 'Cause, I mean, 1 damage a turn, it's not gonna kill you. Not with all the water heals that are in this set that we have. There it is. I was waiting for it. Because, yeah, I mean, if you don't run any buffs, Crazed Bomber is just really good for you. Just solidly good. Okay. I'm trying to think here if I really... Like, I don't care about much of those. Okay. Dude, you just don't run any water buffs? Oh! That's awesome! So you're just like heavy aggro? Is that what I'm getting out of this? Am I just gonna die? I think I'm just gonna die, aren't I? Just a heavy... Oh, you liar, there's a buff right there. I demand a recount. Well, I didn't say only water buffs, so you're right. You're right. I apologize. I think that... I mean, I think I'm dead. I think I'm dead. A, I don't know how to run this deck properly. B, you have a lot of really good disruption with time. Like, I've been trying to draw cards with this for a millennium, and I just can't do it. You have buff removal. You run 3 buffs, that's it. Just 3. You know what? Just to try and get some damage in. Oh, but okay, well that's fair. You run Double Fish. That's pretty fair. I mean, I'm just dead. I have no defense. You definitely have 3 damage. Yeah. Nice. Nice. So I have no idea how this deck runs. I very apologize to Dr. Atylis if he built it and like did really well for him. So okay, Blood Moon's obviously, you know, buffs on top. So let's see here. I didn't get... Yeah, this deck would have done nothing different to you if it would have drawn any differently. It has a lot of burst damage in its combos. Man, I just... What I really like... there's an action card in Gravity. The Ice Feather Mystic here. And Ice Feather Mystic with Astronomer, I think is just insane. It's super good. Where it's almost better than these Wandering Starformers. Because it's like, okay, yeah, I'll draw a card, but... It auto-wins control builds. Just because it can kind of cycle through its ability, is what you're saying? Because like I said, I've never played Asivak before. So I don't know. Man, I wanna actually like really work on this now. You made me dive into a deck that's not even mine, and I'm like, oh, I gotta try and make this work. I have to win. Because like I feel like Defiler is just, it is more of the game finisher. I don't need that many of it. But I mean, well, I've actually played this out before. Astronomer with Ice Feather Mystic. The way it actually works, in case you guys didn't know, I'm just going to explain this to you. Astronomer, so it's XXX4, draw 4 cards. It's kind of weird to build around. Exactly, right? It's kind of one of those, it's like, well, it's a really slow metagame. Really slow, so it almost dies all the time to aggro from what I'm seeing. But if you can build it right, maybe. I don't know. You just kind of have to utilize what Dread has going for it. But so Astronomer does that. What Ice Feather Mystic does is the first part is rotate one of your buffs 2 steps forward. So you go ahead and lay the Astronomer down first turn. Second turn, you Ice Feather Mystic. Ice Feather Mystic will then rotate it to the draw 4, and then you draw the 4 cards because the buff's action goes before this card finishes, and then it says if you've drawn a card this turn, gain additional action. So it's pretty much, hey, draw 4 cards, get additional action. And it works so well. Like, I'm surprised that a lot of people aren't running this in, like, more controlling matchups. Astronomer and Ice Feather Mystic, because it's, like, strongly good that that's how that actually works. That is so ridiculous. And just being able to draw the Yukona Archaeologist into the with the Astronomers makes me want to kind of run 3 of those. Use Barkeep instead of Astronomer. Well, the thing is, like, Astronomer was going really slow, but that's why I'm adding in these Ice Feather Mystics, because I think it'll go a lot faster if I do it that way. Because people will not expect, because you return this on its 3rd corner. They won't expect returning on the 2nd, which is where the Mystic pumps it up. And if I draw, like, a Yukon Archaeologist, which I don't honestly think I need 3 of. I honestly don't think I do. Not in this deck. I think that's fine. Which means maybe I do just run a 3rd Ice Feather Mystic. Maybe Anti-Gravity Snail isn't that good in this one either. Because, like, this deck also has no healing whatsoever. Because its healing is obviously supposed to come from the Dread. Because we lost Lunar and we got Dread, essentially. So I can add, like, Devour in here. I could add Life Leechers. Anti-Gravity. But anti-gravity's Lunar, and I can't run Lunar. If it was Gravity Solar, all for it. All for it. But anti-gravity is Lunar, so I'd have to equip the Lunar weapon. Otherwise, I'd be like gung-ho, man, all day, every day. Because I would also love to run Gravity Bubble in here to restart all my buffs after I do all that crazy shenanigans. Like, it's a real bummer that Soul Trader is the big heal for Dread, or for Death. I mean, I could put Soul Thieves in here. Soul Thieves might actually be better. Do I put them in over Shamblers, though? Because I think Ice Feather Mystic into Shambler is just really good. It can be ridiculously good. Like, the way this is actually built, it seems like an aggro deck. Right? Like, am I missing that part of it? It seems very aggressive. Oh, Anti-Gravity Snail. No, yeah, completely. Completely. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, the way this deck is built, it feels so much like an aggro deck. Which is probably why it had this for, like, 4 damage, all this other stuff. Because, I mean, yeah, I could add Blinding Beetle in here. Light Lashers could be fun. Like, yes, Mirror Beast is good because you get it back to your hand. But at the same time, it's like... Like, it feels really weird saying that. That Mirror Beast, it's a solid card. But if this is what I think it is, just very aggressive, I think the way to fix that is with Astronomer, Ice Feather, Mystic. To really get my card draw engine going. Yakona Archaeologists in there to help kind of restart it. Because all my Gravity cards are going to be used. These ones are going to be the ones that I shuffle back in. And mind you, like, all this is double solar. So my solar cards, it is probably better to keep the Mirror Beast for the solar. And obviously Mage Ship and Celestian Warrior are in here to be restarted with Yakona Archaeologist to hit those really hard. I'm sorry, what combos do we have for... yeah, we have Enlightenment. We have Anti-Matter Field. Just for the memes. Just for the memes. So, Blinding Beetles. So, Blinding Beetles, what would you cut for Blinding Beetles? Because I'm all on board with the Blinding Beetles. It's just, what would you cut for them? Because my thought is cutting Mirror Beast for Blinding Beetle. But I do feel like Mirror Beast, if this deck is, like I was saying, aggressive, Mirror Beast is probably better than Blinding Beetle. Blinding Beetle slows it down, gives me that little bit of heal and more control. Mind you, it immediately does get rid of buff removal from their hand, like 9 times out of 10. But what would you recommend cutting, Belphagoras? Oh, the Chimchu Militant? Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I think the reason Dr. Atylis put Mirror Beast in here over that is because it does work really well with Gravity. You can just keep it in your hand, so you can pay for your heavy combos with it and just keep doing 3 damage. I think that's what he was doing, especially with the Asivak ability. You can always manipulate the top card of your discard pile to be what you want it to be, so that it will work really well with Mirror Beast. Man, yes, we have Enlightenment and Anti-Matter Field. Like, compared to some of these other ones, I don't know why you would run those two. We're losing, like, what, 2 or 3 of these when the meta rotates out. So it's completely fine, but those are very aggressive ones. But no, I do think Blinding Beetles over Mirror Beasts is going to be better. It is less damage, but the healing and more hand control is kind of what I wanted. To make it so that you don't have a Crazed Bomber in hand at all times. Defiler, I think, is just... It can be good, but at this point in time, until I figure out how good Astronomer, Ice Feather Mystic, like how many buffs I'm going to have on the board, Defiler is only really going to do like 4 or 5 damage. Gorge Stalker, actually, I want to keep. Gorge Stalker is healing and damage. Yes, it uses an ability, so it kind of slows down a little bit. But because it is, like, if you think about it this way, 4-point swing, 6-point swing, 6-point swing. But Defiler, like, as much as I like it, Defiler in this deck doesn't fit anymore if I'm running Ice Feather Mystic to rotate all my stuff really heavily. So should I take out the Defilers and maybe now add in Soul Thief for healing, kind of help me get into the later game? Or Shrine of Death. What would Shrine of Death really work with? Mage Ship is the only one. Yeah. No, I agree. Defiler, after I did all this changing up, Defiler wasn't doing anything. I could add in, like, Stalking Sipid. Or I could add in Soul Thief. Ooh, I like Carabid Scavenger. How many of these are... Ice Feather Mystic is a defense. So I can catch that with it. Blinding Beetle is a defend. Carabid Scavenger? Is that a good one? Or Bone Reaper. Bone Reaper into Ice Feather Mystic. I think that's actually going to be good. I'm also... Soul Thief is immediate. I'd rather go with that. I agree. It is immediate. I'll completely agree. Soul Thief. Here's my thought on Bone Reaper. Give me a second. Here's my thought on Bone Reaper. With Asivak's ability, if we are trying to go a little more slow, control-y route, we are able to get cards back from the discard pile several times, which means Ice Feather Mystic, I kind of want to be able to lay multiple times. So if I keep bringing back Ice Feather Mystic, playing it with Bone Reaper is going to be solid. Lay Bone Reaper, lay Ice Feather Mystic, immediately get the 4 damage, 4 healing. I can bring Ice Feather Mystic back for a while, lay Shambler, lay Ice Feather Mystic, deal 6 damage. Bring Ice Feather Mystic back, lay Mage Ship, lay Ice Feather Mystic again. So that's kind of what my thought process is if we're going for a more slow route. Is able to get like Ice Feather Mystic back to do all this stuff. If that makes sense. Bone Reaper, for all I know, could be bad. It could be like, I'm waiting too long and I really do just need Soul Thief. I think I am being a little too greedy. I think you're right. I think Soul Thief is better. It is more immediate. Ice Feather Mystic, with all these other buffs, it doesn't need to work with every card. It just needs to work with a few good ones. Like Mage Ship. Like Shambler. Like Astronomer. Even Celestial Warrior. Like, those kind of stuff, that'll work really well with. So I think I might have been being too greedy with Ice Feather Mystic there. But I do think that it's going to help quite a lot. If anyone's playing the slow game, I'm going to win. That's true. What? See, that's I agree. I agree. I, however, do not think that this deck can deal with, like, Sicario. Because the slow game, the people that play the slow game are the people that have abilities and constant buffs on the board. And this deck runs Pathfinders, it's only buff removal, and it needs Lunar to do better buff removal. So for me, yes, I'll be able to get it back with Asivak and try to control them. But it's going to be so long and so disheartening to do that. So, like, I need these combos to do burst things. I feel like I'm more of a control-y build up and then have really big spike turns. If that makes sense. Like, back-to-back spike turns, where I kind of survive until I can do, like I was saying before, like a Mage Ship, Ice Feather Mystic, 7 damage in one turn. Next turn I do Solar Wind for 14, hit him for like 21. And before that, I just kind of have to wean them down with cards like Anti-Gravity Snail, with cards like Gorge Stalker and Shambler, and then I just really swing out big. So it's not as much a control as it is a spike deck, where I deal, like, within 2 turns over 20 damage to them and they're dead. And if they can't do anything, well, then they can't do anything. Which makes me think like Reality Rift is just not good for this deck. Yes, it'll bring back a lot of buffs, but it's very cost heavy. And I might even just want to run Enlightenment for card draw. It's cheap to play. I mean, Antimatter Field is just funny. But honestly, I think Reality Rift is the one out. It's the lopsided one out. Where I need the card draw to get to those spike moments. If that makes sense. I think I'm going to do that, actually. Put Enlightenment in here. It could be some minor damage. It could be some minor healing for all I know. that make sense? I hope I'm not just kind of rambling on right now. I need more card draw. I think you're right. My only thought process here is like, I'm hoping Astronomer will just get me there. And obviously people that play against me will know to kill Astronomer immediately before I can do anything like that. But I do have Anti-Grav Sniff for card draw. I do have Astronomer for card draw. I have Blinding Beetle for digressing their aggression. Kind of is what, if that makes sense. I now have Enlightenment, which is card draw. So I think I'm actually fine on card draw. It is going on 9 o'clock. Oh, no. I think there's like a 7 to 10 second lag on chat, so don't worry about it, dude. Don't worry. I think this is fine the way it is. No, I agree. Astronomer is a huge target, and if you want to kill my Astronomer, you can waste your buff removal on Astronomer, and then I will Asivak and get it back. I will Asivak and get Astronomer back. Umber Informant could be. I feel that's the thing now. Informant is good if you're playing in the long game matchup, and as you said before, it's good if you're playing long game, and if I am playing long game, then I'm most likely going to win at all times. So it's those games where if I'm playing the long game, I should win with my card recursion. I'll be able to get all my stuff back and just do stuff and hang on. It's those aggro games that I need to also have the potential to just have a really big swing turn. And if the aggro game literally wants to spend half of their turn killing one of my card draw buffs, then that's what they do. I've been finding more frequently that people that play aggro, if I lay Astronomer, they will just let it sit there for maybe 1 or 2 turns and they'll attack me, and that's when I can surprise Ice Feather Mystic them. Because, I mean, the other option here is to lay Spectral Guide, which is really good. Spectral Guide comes in, draws me a card. Defendability draws me 2 and then 2. So, like, it's a better Astronomer in a sense. But the moment I lay Spectral Guide, everyone's going to kill it before I can even use the ability. However, the moment I lay Astronomer, people are not going to want to kill it right away. It's going to wait till 4 corners until it actually do something. And that's what I'm hoping for the surprise Ice Feather Mystic. So really, I just kind of have to hold out. Blinding Beetle will help me hold out. Gorge Stalker will help me hold out. But no, I do agree. In most cases, Informant is going to be way better than Astronomer. But, like I said, I do need the flexibility on the app to be able to handle the aggro matchups. Where I need to be able to... Because Umbered Informant is just a dead card. It's not... I guess it's not really a dead card with Asivak. I can just use it to get cards out of the graveyard if it is a dead card. So I guess in that sense, it's probably better. But I feel my playstyle and the way I want to build it is with Ice Feather Mystic to try and get some of these good spike turns. I hope that's okay. I mean, if it could be wrong, we could try this again and put Ember Informants in here. But then if we do that, I honestly don't think we need the Mystic. So that'll be 6 cards we can replace. And if that's the case, we will probably end up replacing the Mystic with the Wandering Starformer. 4 damage. Solar's on top, draw a card. I can manipulate the top card of my deck. That'll probably be a lot more aggressive style like that. So we could easily just take out Astronomer and Ice Feather Mystic, put in Starformer, put in Informant, have that go for us. Not much will have to change with the deck. Probably even put back in Reality Rift. Yeah. True. That's very true. Instead of dumping my hand, I gotta play and playing before when I have to wait until I get that. But I mean, then if I did do that, this deck would be completely changed. It would run a lot more of attack cards instead of buff cards. And then they would almost be going straight aggro, as opposed to like what you're saying. Just honestly replacing those two cards would make this an entirely new deck. In which case, I would start from scratch and add in like the Chim Chim Militants. I would add in the obviously Wandering Starformer. I'd add in Chim Chim Infiltrator, maybe even Dimensional Hunter. Just really stuff to dump my hand. Then Umbred Informant. For death, I would completely take out all these buffs, and I would probably run even Life Leecher, Soul Thief, because this moves a card back from their hand. This is healing damage. I'd probably even use almost no death cards outside of that, which then would make Blood Moon not as good because it needs buffs to do it. So like this whole deck would be completely changed just by those two cards. It's how I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying like literally that's how strange this is. That just by going from my card draw of Ice Feather Mystic and Astronomer to changing it Astronomer to Umbred Informant makes me not want to play Ice Feather Mystic or Shambler, or any of these cards. It makes me want to lay attack cards to get instant effect on the board. Because then, yes, I can dump my hand, I can Umbred Informant, and then I can like bring Umbred Informant back after I dump my hand with Asivak's ability, and then Umbred Informant again. Mind you, the ability that the way I'm perceiving it, the ability takes like 2 turns just to get 1 card back specifically. So that's why I'm like, if you're building that deck, you're not using her ability at all. You're using her ability in like really clutch situations to bring back like a Pathfinder or something specific that you need to win. Because in aggressive, having like 2 turns where you're almost doing nothing is dead, because your opponent has those 2 turns to catch up. So the way I'm perceiving this Asivak deck is to try and use the ability. That's all. That's all. Trying to utilize the ability fairly well. And I think in order to do that, you need to build a very unison deck that has spike turns, that has like certain cards that you want to get back to utilize more than once in a deck. And that'll be Ice Feather Mystic in this one. It'll be like Blinding Beetle, stuff like that. It doesn't say action cards? Yeah, action cards. Okay. Don't use the ability. Just don't use it. You don't need it. Well, the thing is, if you're an empty deck check, this ability, if you're an empty deck check and all you do is you store a card, you still will have to discard a card. Because the way the empty deck check rule works, I believe, is if you have to play a card from your hand and have it not returned to your hand. Using this ability is not playing a card, so storing a card to switch it out still means you have to either get rid of a card or do something on the board. So this does not form an infinite loop past empty deck check. But yeah, that's exactly. Use it once to store Pathfinder under it, and then just hold it there until I need Pathfinder. It's kind of one of those where it's like, yeah, my opponent knows I have Pathfinder there. That's completely fine. Or like, wait until I need the Ice Feather Mystic again to just keep it under there. Stuff like that. It's not an ability you use like maybe more than 3 times in a game. Maybe. But yeah, I think this deck is fine. I think this deck will be fun to try. But it is past 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna log out for the day. I will probably test this again, maybe Wednesday. I'll actually give this deck a shot on Wednesday after I'm done with the campaign. I will play this and test it out because I'm very intrigued with this deck now. I want to see how it works, just the way I've kind of fixed it a little bit in my own mind. But yeah, that'll be my plan for Wednesday. Is I will do the campaign, and then with whatever time I have left, I will work with Asivak, and I will try and see if this deck is reliable. Because I do love a fun gimmick in a deck. I love trying to build a cohesive unit, and that's what I want to try and do with this. I want to see if I can get this theme worked out. If not for my own sake, but like in my own mind, if I do stuff like this, where if I work out a theme on these cards, I am in my own way getting inside the developers' heads of Lightseekers at PlayFusion and trying to figure out what they intended these cards to do before we completely break them and make them the most broken things in the entire world. Trying to get into their mind and go like, all right, why did they make this card? What was their plan in these like 5 cards to work what they're supposed to be able to do? Once I figure that out, then I feel completely fine just going, all right, now I'm just making aggro. Go ahead and do it. I know what they wanted to do. I'm going to do my own thing now. Da-da-da-da-da-da. But all right, thank you guys very much for tuning in today. I hope you had fun watching me play against the Ancient for the first hour, then play a Carnage deck that I built with the Beasts. Had fun with my viewers, played against Blammo with this Asivak deck that Dr. Atylis had made. I did my own changes to it. I think we had a great day today, don't you? I think we had an amazing day. Please check out my YouTube channel. Follow me there as I'm going to host some highlight games and whatnot. This game will probably be put on a highlight viewer stream. You know, viewer versus caster, one-on-one throwdown of me just getting my butt kicked. But yeah, I had a fantastic day today, Monday. I'm really happy I chose to do a 3rd day of streaming. I think it's going to be a lot more fun, just having a free range day of just whatever goes. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys Wednesday. Have yourself a very fun Monday evening. And I will see you guys later. Ciao.